The dev stream is over, and of course it did start by showing us the new proto frames that are going to come, and for the record, I knew this was Frost from the minute he started lifting that cigar. We have Frost, Saren, was hoping for some other ones, but I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad with the ones that they went for, because there is lore and other stuff behind that look and the face, but Nova jumping out the middle there, hell yes. There is more that will come from this, but more importantly, this was also the trailer that they used to announce Techrot. Techrot Encore, with everything that's going to be coming with it, will be coming on March 19th. Yeah, with Tempest, who is of course the fourth one. Techrot Encore, March 19th. I could go deep into other things like the Deep Archimedia 2 missions. They're going to be level 350 plus that have stickers that can add bonuses. The other new store will add furniture. I felt very betrayed by Frost because Frost is going to be the one selling furniture. And even though they didn't really show it, this also is where you buy the 4 new weapons that will also be coming in this. More on that later, but that will be the Skuldra ones, even though they were mentioned in the last dev stream. So I see more coming. They didn't show those weapons at all in this dev stream. When they finally got into Temple, they start by showing his proto frame that is of course called Flare. And it doesn't look too bad, but when they got into the actual frame, I will openly admit, not a fan of that alternate helmet. It doesn't look too bad, but just, you won't see it because you play the game from behind the frame. So having the bit at the front, the mohawk, you're never going to see it. When they actually got into some gameplay, you instantly noticed the thing in the middle of the screen. Like as soon as you got off the bike, there was this metronome kind of going in the middle, and this is the one thing I was hoping they weren't going to do with him. Another music-based frame, because let's not forget, not their first, Banshee was. Casting abilities in the center will basically buff the efficiency by 50% and can have other perks, possibly. This is also his passive, which his passive is the efficiency buff. You can mod around this, they did mention that, but I do kind of... I like the fact it's there, even though it's the one thing I was hoping they weren't going to do. Give something that is, let's put it as music based there. Quick time events, which is basically what it is. Casting the abilities in that middle part builds up his passive that can give the efficiency of up to 50%. His first ability, I believe they called it Pyrotechnics, creates flame pillars in front of him that will obviously set your enemies on fire. Second ability creates speakers that will deafen enemies in front of you and open them up to crits, not finishers. It increases the crit. Of course, the higher that bar is for the metronome in the middle of the screen determines how open to crits they are going to be. The higher it is, the more open they are to crits. The higher the crit chances, which is going to be really good if you run crit-based weaponry as well. Third ability, Ripper Veil, I believe. I don't know what the second one was called. I probably should have looked that one up. This can buff heat damage to you and everyone around you. Increasing it by landing it perfectly in the metronome will increase the heat damage and for you and everybody else. Also, possibly, the healing and increased shields that you will receive by casting his third ability. This all makes a lot more sense when you think casting the third ability to create a heat damage buff works well with his first ability that creates heat pillars, but it also works insanely well with his fourth ability, which is of course Lizzie, his exalted weapon that I love the lore of this thing. It was born of Techrot blood, meaning Lizzie, the guitar, is basically a living weapon. It's also a giant flamethrower. Let's not sugarcoat it. His exalted weapon is a flamethrower that can change the elemental damage it's doing by aiming down scope and casting the ability, because once you aim down scope, it changes the abilities in the bottom right to be elemental, and landing it perfectly buffs it. And they mentioned that doing this will also, I'm assuming, drop the elemental ammo, so your allies can pick it up. Kind of similar to the way that Saito 9 can drop ammo. His fourth ability will do basically the very same thing. One of the better things I did like the fact that they showed was his pistol, the Riot 848. This thing I'm very interested in trying out when it comes out on March 19th, because when you reload, all of the rounds you have shot out come flying back to you, and it plays kind of a guitar riff as it comes back, dealing damage on its way back and on its way out. This is the second time they've made a weapon that's like this, but this isn't a throwing one, it is a normal pistol, which is great. That has me very intrigued for his signature weapon. I want to know what the perk is that, when in Temple's hands, it will do what. His parts, however, are available from Flare in the new part of the mall that will be opening up, and you get them by buying them from him. They didn't really mention if there is another way to do this or not, because there is a new game mode that will be coming with this as well. The Solstice Squared or something along those lines. That's what I've got written down. That doesn't sound right. This is a new defense game mode with a twist. A lot of them apparently, but they didn't show them, which I thought was a little bit weird for them to do, because usually they like to show these twists. They showed a few of them though. But with this update, all defense missions, instead of it being 5 waves for your reward, it'll be 3. So it'll be at 3, 6, 9, meaning you get 3 rewards in the length of time where before you would only have gotten 2 by going all the way up to wave 10. This will go for all defense missions. Instead of 5 waves, it's now 3, meaning all event-based ones that used to be 10 waves are now going to be 6 after this update. This will be one of those where you're going to be kind of glad of this, because at the end of every 3rd wave, there is a Berserker-style enemy that will spawn, kind of like it does in Disruption, and they basically specified that this is very similar to Disruption missions. And the best way that I could put this is, the new defense game mode is Disruption, but you don't have to move. You're just defending one spot instead of running from finding the key, running to where it goes, and then having to wait until the person spawns, then go to them. The Berserker, I'll get there eventually, and take out the Berserker until they get to the point to destroy it. It'll be the same thing. The Berserker will basically go in and destroy it. This entire defense mission, yes, it is a giant concert that is being put on in Hulvania. And in all honesty, there's a lot of other twists. The speakers can do things. They've got enemies that spawn in that can basically destroy it instantly, I'm hoping. That would be great, but at the same time I'm hoping it doesn't, because when you get to higher levels, if you don't take out the Berserker quick enough, I'd like to see it just half the health of the thing you're defending, which happens to be Flare in this case, rather than completely annihilate it. That would be half its full health. If it's at half health, it one-shots it. If it's just over, you have a chance to maybe heal it, though they didn't go into how you can actually heal it. More importantly, this is the game mode that drops the new resource that you will then take to Flare to buy the parts for Tempest, which is also where you buy the Riot 848 pistol as well, his signature pistol. All in all, not too bad, remembering that all of this, the new frame, the new defense mission, all of it will be coming in Techrot Encore, that will bring 13 other new weapons, because the Coda will also be coming in this. And the 4 weapons that they didn't show in this dev stream, because they have shown them before, I've completely forgotten the name of them now, the Skuldra weapons, that will also be coming. So there's them 17 weapons, A new pistol, that does actually take it to the 18 that I mentioned one or two many times. That's 18 new weapons that are coming in this. It is going to be a hell of an update, and Tempest looks like he could possibly be a good frame. And I'm really actually looking forward to this. Though, March 19th, there is enough time to build the 65 format you're going to need just for the Coda weapons. Because they need 5 format each, and there's 13 of them. Cannot stress this one enough. They showed off that the Coda menu itself will be inside of the Kim system. That will be getting a huge expanse to it to include all of the new proto frames. And in there's the option to actually click on to be able to go in and see the Coda weapons, the Coda you have after you, and what they will be dropping. Always vanquish the first 13 of these you get, at least, if not more, because you will need those live heart cells to buy the new Coda weapons that don't drop from the Coda. You have to actually obtain them from buying them, which is why I'm saying vanquish your first 13 Coda to make sure you have enough live heart cells to be able to buy the 13 new weapons that are coming. But with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.